Hello everybody, this is Vanita Kumar, also known as Twinflameunion, bringing you guys in the pep talk and empowerment series Twin Flames and their Karmic. We're gonna dive deep into many aspects, and this could be your scenario, this could be just in general, whether it is your scenario or not. I'm gonna explain in this pep talk empowerment how this actually applies in your situation, whether you are in a karmic or not, because there's actually more lessons to that than we actually realize. It's not just karmic is not only just about third-party situations, there's other situations that come along with it too. So we're going to dive deep into this, but before we begin, I just want to welcome everybody into this channel that is new. I just want you to hit like, share, or subscribe, as well as hit the notification bell so that you do not miss any future videos. If you're drawn through this sort of topic, I always bring these kind of topics, as well as a few other things that I do, readings, monthly readings, as well as some guided meditations. So if you were drawn into this channel, it's because Spirit led you here, so you can get many insights, as well as you can book a private session with me. All that stuff is listed in the description box, as well as it's in the link is in my website. The link to the description is in my website as well, so you can do any bookings with me or read any articles. I usually also link some of the articles that show up in my conversation, so I always do that as well. So just check if there is any articles that need to be listed. I haven't quite actually dedicated one article on this topic yet. It's because I have a hard time actually trying to figure out what I'm gonna write. So we'll see how this video goes, because karmic is not my expertise. My twin and my situation is not based on karmic, so we have to deal with other lessons, but I'll go into it deep a little bit later on, and how this I had to kind of think about it, like I said, how to navigate this topic, because it's not my area of expertise based on my journey experience, but I know that this is very common for many, and there is some lessons that I did learn, so I'll go over that. But before we begin any further, let's hit it. And welcome back. So as usual, I have my topics listed here. So if you see me going through this, it's because that's what I'm doing. And I just want to stay on course with this topic, because it's actually a very serious topic, and people actually often get mistaken for karmics. So I just want to bring that out first and foremost, that having karmics or dealing with karmics or having that experience is actually something that is pivotal in your life and your soul growth and your soul lessons that you actually signed up for. So this, I'm gonna try to keep it as less painful, because it's easier said than done, especially if you're dealing with karmics, in your dynamics. if your twin is dealing with a karmic, or you are dealing with a karmic, because it's all of a sudden you've met your love of the life, and here you are, you have to deal with all these things as well, along with the connection, which is never too easy. So in this case, yeah, I'll try to keep it as gentle as I can. So bear with me, and let me know what you thought of the video, and hopefully whatever I'm gonna go over will actually make sense to you. So before we begin, I just want to say one thing. I kind of mentioned it in one of my blogs, I believe, about karmics, or maybe two. So I'm going to link both, because yeah, I've just kind of touched on it a little bit. Like I said, it's still something that I'm actually coming to terms with myself, because I have to figure out how this applies to my twin and I, because we don't have third-party situations. So it's a little bit harder for us to, well, for me anyways. I don't know how he's dealing with this, but I'll tell you his version as well of whatever I know. So because as you know that we are not in union right now. We are in separation, but it's stuff that he had told me so about his karmic, and lessons that he learned that has affected our connection. So anyways, how it works is, first of all, karmic is coming from the word karma. Now, most people think that karma is bad deeds from the past, or you reap what you sow, that kind of mentality, which is a very low 3D paradigm octave that we've been conditioned from the beginning of time. A lot of these I want to say religion, because that's all, we all were born into some sort of religion, and it's somewhere along the line, it as generations went, it got passed on. I think that fear just kind of were embedded in our solar system, I want to say, because it's actually ancestral, right? It's not just you didn't just come just like this. You had so many ancestors, and they were repeatedly told the same thing. So it's been conditioning that has been passed down from generations. In twin flame journey, a lot of these paradigms and old fashioned beliefs and system has to be all broken down, and this is why the journey is so hard for the twin flame collectives, because they have to come to terms with having this connection with their twin flame, and then some of the dynamics that they have to deal with in their personal life, and then as well as all this religious and ancestral conditioning that it's just it's handful, and it's not easy. And I just want to point that out, that it's not that easy going through all of this, and it's a lot to take. So I will hopefully by the end of this video try to explain it as best as I can. So having said that, karma is this is what people have been told over the years, and this is how I was told as well. It's just the way that I was brought up, that you reap the rewards of your karma. But I just thought it was something that was you if you do bad, bad things will happen to you, kind of thing, right? But again, on a soul perspective, from your higher self, these are all about lessons. It's all soul lessons, and whatever has happened to you in your past, that was all part of your soul growth and your evolution as you wanted to gain this experience. On a soul level, you actually do not experience anything, because everything is a bliss. You don't feel emotions, you don't feel anger, resentment, you don't feel love. It's all coming, you're just in ecstasy, in a way. So and this is why souls decide to incarnate, to get certain lessons from what they it's just for their soul expansion and growth. So this is why they want to incarnate, so that they get some sort of knowledge, right? So and that's something that was all pre-scripted, because as your higher self, you actually chose the scenarios and the dynamics and everything, who were supposed to, you wanted certain lessons that you wanted to learn. So, certain people volunteered, and it's nothing is by the chance. I think it was Albert Einstein that spoke about that. He said that, that was his theory, that people are not just here for just no reason. Everything has its reason. I mean, there was no specific chance that by chance you just happened to be here. It was well scripted, well chosen for you to actually incarnate from I don't know how many souls out there, and the universe is big. For you to come into this planet, everything, it was chosen with a very strategic manner, right? So that's how I understand it, based on going into a little bit of a spirituality and just digging into some good articles and stuff like that. So everything from the moment that you were chosen, you chose to come, you chose your parents, you chose your sisters, your brothers, you chose who you were going to meet in this lifetime. You chose what time you were going to get born into, and what date and where, all those things, what planet, under what planet influence you wanted to be born under. All of that stuff actually is pre-planned, believe it or not. If you want to look that up, you can try Googling. Google has a lot of information like that. So do look at all that stuff if this kind of topic fascinates you. So yeah, it's got lots of stuff like that. That's good reads, right? Or even books have been written on this. So yeah, so he did believe that that was the theory that he went on, that and not nothing was here by any chance. Everything was predestined and preordained. So when we come back to the karma, it's the same idea, because karmics and karma go hand in hand. And actually had to look that up, because in the internet, a lot of information that's there is based on the New Age philosophy of karma, which is again, you reap the rewards of this and that, right? So I had to kind of actually look and actually get a better meaning of it. And the way that I perceive karma is that it is a remnants of past life, meaning that what happened, you brought karma into this world, and that was based on what had happened in your past life. So you actually brought all that here, and you are tying sort of loose ends, and trying to live out your karma. And you're just trying to gain that soul lessons, that growth, as well as trying to heal that aspect, as well as clear any karma blocks. So this is why a lot of people are now getting into past life clearing. They want to look into what had happened in the past life, especially if you're on a twin flame journey. That your history, or at least you would get some sort of ideas on this, is that you and your twin flame, especially if you're on a true twin flame connection, you've had lots of past lives together. It's because that's you guys were one, right? So there's been many lifetimes that you've had, and each lifetime there was some sort of lessons that needed to be learned. And if you didn't learn it, it's remnants of that remainder of all of that has bled into this lifetime. So this is why we meaning me and a few others that have actually started talking about that, because it's important that you look at that past life stuff too. And you sort of intuitively know that it's not hoax. Once you start actually diving deep into your past life, you actually start seeing the pattern there. So karma is based on past life, and the whatever was there in that in that lifetime that actually bled here, right? So, and that's what karma is actually. So karmics play the same sort of role, because these individuals actually decided to help you gain sort of certain sort of soul lessons, growth, as well as help you from that soul amnesia that you actually were born with, because there's very little people that actually remember what had happened in their past life. It's remembrance is you'll probably have some sort of intuition, but people, there's only just a few cases in this world where people have actually recalled their past life, and it's not they're not lying about it. It's not a myth. It is true. And I know that dealing with collectives, some people actually have started dreaming about these kind of things, and they think that those things that they did dream is something to do with this, something like future, that they're looking into the future, but it's actually most likely the past as well. So, it could be the future, it could be the past, but it's up to you to discern what that is and figure it out, right? Because that's, it's such an individual thing, right? And this is why this journey is such a solo endeavor, because there's no way that you can include others in it. It's when I say solo, it's actually you diving deep into your situation, and it has nothing to do with your twin flame, because they are dealing with their own stuff and their own karma, and it has nothing. Some of them are interconnected, but some of them are also separate, right? Because there's been many lives that you've lived which were separate from from your twin flame as well. I've gone back and I've seen that. There's been many lives where I've lived, and my twin was nowhere to be found, right? So I'm just saying that is also the case. So they've got their own stuff to dig, and you have your own. So you deal with you. That's the best way that I can explain it. So now this was kind of a little blip on karma and karmics, just a recap of it, right? So now how this applies in your situation. So I'm gonna go blow by blow into this. So I'm gonna go with the singles, so for example, if you are single and your twin flame is single, well, then what's keeping you guys apart, right? It's because there has been many karmic lessons they've learned individually with their with the people that they were romantically involved with, so and you too, you've got some lessons that you had to learn as well. And this is why it's also there, right? You can't say that I'm single and they are single, then we don't have karmic attachment. You can never say that, because that is not true. This is why I created a cord cutting meditation, so that you can actually clear any of those energetic cords that actually keep you guys binded. I'm not talking about you and your twin flame, I'm talking about other people, because that's very important that you actually look after that as well, right? It's not just people that you've had a physical relationship with. Energetic cords are anybody that you can have an energetic cord with your pet. I'm just saying it's energy is fluid, and you have no idea just how fluid it is. It catches on to everything. This is why you will hear this often in your journey, that keep raising your vibration and keep your energy positive because of that, right? You want to make sure that you actually get the good juices flowing inside you versus the bad, because energy is the biggest enigma, and it's fluid like honey. I mean, even honey is thick, right? But you just, you just get to, you get to see that just what I mean. It's like water. It just, and this is why a lot of people consider energy, like water, because water, you can just, you can splash it anywhere and it can take form, right? It's crazy like that. So and that's the best way that I can explain it. So yeah, in those cases, you have to dig deep into your situation. I'm gonna go with you, the watcher. You have to figure out how many karmic lessons you've learned, right, in your connections, not your twin flame, talking about the other people, right? And usually karmic partners are usually somebody on the romantic nature. You know, I'm not talking about soul, you know, I'm not talking about your friends and family because they're not karmic. You know, I'm talking about karmic romantic partners. You know, you could be somebody that you've had crushes on, or somebody that was usually those are energetic connections, you know, the ones that you've had crushes with, or you've had, you know, you haven't had a relationship but you've had that connection, so that's energetic connection. But people there that you were actually physically involved with, you know, dating and, you know, living together, being married, you know, that's sort of like that's what I mean when I say karmic, because, you know, they did play certain lessons that you needed to learn. And the thing with any of this is, it doesn't matter which dynamic, you know, if you didn't learn your lesson and you didn't integrate it into your healing, the same repeated cycle will occur again with another person. It's a vicious cycle. So this is why it's important that you actually look into it in the eye and meet your dragons and demons and heal it, right? So yeah, best way that I can say you can heal it is perhaps do some journaling, right? You know, figure out the pros and cons. You know, you write the good things that you learned about that relationship, and then the bad things, right? You know, you can do it in that kind of comparison. That's a good way of you know, jotting it down, and then once you've actually looked at it and done a comparison, then, you know, you look at the things that were negative about that connection and just figure out how you've healed from that, right? And then what are you doing to heal from it, right? You know, so all those negative experiences that you've had, you know, the things that you didn't like, you know, so that's sort of the way that, you know, you sort of can recognize what's happening, because it's easy to just say it, but how do you decipher it, right? So that's sort of the thing that I'm talking about. So listing it like that will also give you a better idea. So that's you. And then how this affects them, you know, your twin, if they've had karmic lessons, you know, from other partners, is because, and you know what, you mirror each other in your fears and your wounds, right? So, you know, a lot of times I'm burping. You'll see that, you know, I'll make a funny face. It's because that's what I'm doing. It's funny. Yeah, Ascension. I already wrote my article on that, so do look at it on my website. It's amazing. The first day that it got published, I had about 80 hits on it. I couldn't believe it, because that's like my most highest read article in one day of publish. So it just goes to show that how crazy that was. And it took me a while to write it, because it's not easy to list it, and I tried to keep it as in point form, because if I wrote it in a very lengthy way, it would have been a book. I have a few books that I can write in future, you know, like, and expand on these things that I actually talk about, but you know, at this point I just want to keep it, you know, short and easy for you guys to understand, because this whole journey is hard as is. If I start writing, you know, long articles, you know, you will be lost, because I know that many are already as is. So I try to keep it in point form, as opposed to writing a book like article. It's, you're not gonna understand any of it. It'll just go right through you. It already does as is, you know. So I'm just saying, it's yeah, you will once you start developing a little bit more experience with the journey, then you will find that you know, the lengthier articles or more deep stuff will actually sink in better, because, you know, a lot of you are in different stages of your journey, right? So but yeah, so, you know, going back to them, if they have karmic lessons that they've dealt with, you know, it's affected the relationship, meaning you and them, because, you know, they are insanely scared, you know, to try this all over again. And that must have come up in your readings many times. In my case, in my personal dynamics, I know that is the case with my other half. You know, he's previous relationship was really, really bad, so it did come up. And that's what he had said physically, but then when I went into my past life, the previous relationships were bad because, I had relationships with him and they didn't go all that well. So however way that played out. So this is why I say that, your karmics, whether it's your twin flames karmic or it's your karmic, they will play that really huge pivotal role, for you to wake you up, from your soul amnesia and actually dive deep into it, right? So though our connection started off with him saying that his previous relationship went bad, and that's what's keeping us apart in a way, because he's too scared. I learned it the other way, that there's actually deeper meaning to what he was saying. His it did go bad because it was rough for him. So, and apparently I did that all to him so far. So what has he done? Poor guy hasn't done much, for me. In the previous lives, I still have more, more past life work to do. So I'll see if he's done anything bad to me, but so far it's been me doing bad things to him. So, not intentionally, but that's what had happened. So, can you blame the guy if all of a sudden, you meet your twin flame and it's like past coming back, right? Your whole nightmare is just like replaying it all over, right? So it wasn't, our situation wasn't that bad, but I know that many collectives had worse situations than that so far. Fingers crossed, we'll see, right? So I'm still doing my past life stuff because there's more to learn, right? So but and you learn about them, you heal it in the best way you can. So yeah, in their situation, if you both are single, that's probably residual stuff from your past relationships, your karmic relationships that have bled into your situation. But if you look deep into it, it could be embedded from your past life as well. So this is the lesson that I was just trying to tell you. Nothing is as it seems. If you keep digging, you get more answers, right? So that is the story, and this is what's keeping us apart. It's not physically, third party, he doesn't have anybody, I don't have anybody. It's just, and it just goes to show that it doesn't matter whether you actually are with a partner or whether they are with a partner. If you're meant to be kept apart, for you to dive into your alchemy, you will be, and whether in future him or me, we have any karmic partner that needs to come in for soul lessons. I have no idea if it's something that our souls chose to do. So that's an example that I'm giving, that your souls actually choose these kind of dynamics as well. So if it's in your contract, in your soul agreement, that you need to learn further lessons by either you taking on another karmic or them taking on that karmic, this is again still in the single scenario. If it's the case, then you will, it's nothing you can do. You need to just learn and integrate it. So in my case, if we have to do that, that's what it is. And you just have to when the time comes, deal with it, is what I'm gonna say. Because like I said, it's hard to say. In my situation, I had a little glimpse of that when I was dealing with the catalyst twin, though we never dated, or it was just a connection, but he did actually get a karmic partner, right? Or could be a soulmate. I don't know. I didn't really look into their situation. But what I mean is that, to me, when they started dating, I just kind of stepped back and concentrated on myself. So that's what I kind of did, right? So I've already handled that situation maturely. So I'm hoping that, I continue to maintain that maturity, right? And not go crazy and haywire, right? But what future lays for us, in terms of karmics. Hard to say if we chose to do that, that's what it is, right? It's part of the lessons that you just got to learn. So you can't change any of that stuff. So I just wanted to say that for the single people. Now I'm gonna go into the ones that are dealing with the karmic, meaning you, the watcher. So if you're dealing with the karmic, everybody has their own life lessons, and nobody can tell you what to do and what not to do. But if you are always thinking about your twin flame and you're bringing that kind of stuff at home, that's not really fair to the other partner. You want to start thinking, what's life going to be like, because these are all blocks, right? That you have to figure out. You cannot fill your cup from, if your cup is not empty, you cannot put more things in there, right? You can't invite that abundance unless you empty your cup, right? So that's the only thing I'm gonna say, and that's I'll leave it to that, because that's your choice what you want to do. But you also want to think about the person that you are in relationship with as well, and what kind of fairness you are giving to that person. If you're constantly thinking about your twin flame and you actually are even having a relationship with your twin flame, because relationship morale, or moral values still apply in twin flame journey, and I'm gonna say that that doesn't change, right? It's not like you can get a ticket to infidelity, so that's you guys are adults, you know what I mean. So I'm not gonna put too much emphasis on that. You just have to think about some of these things, because you think that you are being unfair to the person if you're honest. Maybe the band-aid will be, when you pull the band-aid, is going to be rough. That was the case in my situation. The band-aid was rough, but the thing is that at the end of the day, there was a higher purpose to that. And we were supposed to do what we did so that we could invite the abundance for the future partners, because that's what it is, right? Your karmic partner also has their life to go on too, and their future partner, there could be a twin flame waiting at the other end for them to finish their cycle, or it could be a soulmate, right? So nothing's ever random. You never say that you're leaving your karmic partner high and dry. Like there's always a higher meaning to that. Like I know that that is the case in my situation, where my karmic partner and I, we were actually twin flames, but not to each other. So when things got dissolved, there is I met my twin flame, and of course my karmic is yet to meet his twin flame. But what I mean is that he's got his own twin flame that he has, that's waiting for that cycle to finish, and then will show up in his reality. So it just goes to show that everything has its purpose, right? So and you learn your lessons and growth through that, right? So I just want to say that being guilty, going in the fear and doing these are all lower 3D vibrational stuff that you want to just not think about, right? You want to make sure that you are focusing on the higher meaning to things. Now, for the ones that are dealing with karmic partners, I just want to say that it's not easy, again, to deal with your twin flame being in a relationship with somebody else, and is also seeing you. So those are some of the things that you need to make as a decision as an individual, right? Do you want to play second fiddle to your twin flame? It doesn't, just because they are your twin flame does not give them the right to again, be in a relationship with them as well as you, right? But again, I'm not the one to judge that, because that's again your situation, your dynamics, you figure it out, right? This is part of your self-worth, your self-love, and your self-betterment, and how how you want to navigate that. Personally, if this was me, where I had to deal with my twin being in a relationship, I would just say, good for you. You can do that. I will not play your second fiddle, because I am enough to not play that kind of third party situation personally, because I never believed in that, and I never practiced it in all my life, and I'm not gonna start now, right? So this is something that I'm just personally not into. It's gonna be too painful for me to see my twin flame for brief period of time, maybe few hours, or if we even went for a weekend and then bam, he goes back to his partner, I wouldn't be able to handle that myself, because it's very, very painful. But everybody has their own tolerance of that pain, right? You figure out what that looks like for you, right? And there's nothing wrong with you putting your putting yourself first. This is what the journey is teaching you anyways, is to put your needs and your sanity first. So if this is something that is happening in your situation, you may want to just say to your twin, if this is something, if this is an encouragement for you to do that, then go for it. If this is a cue for you to have the courage to do that, because then kudos to you that you're going to do this, where you're going to say that, listen, you sort out your situation with your karmic, and I'm going to focus on me. So yeah, if you are in that energy, then thumbs up to you, and be proud of yourself that you've actually mastered that part, right? And you've learned a very valuable lesson in twin flame journey, that you put yourself first and you love you more, right? So yeah, you want to do that. And the thing with them is that if they are with a lot of people don't realize is that, I'm gonna go with this scenario here, because this is a lot of collectors are in here, where they feel that, okay, well, they're having fun with their karmic partner, and here I'm doing all this journey work and, working so hard, and they're doing nothing. So, and that's not the case, they are actually just as miserable as you are without them, because imagine now they have to pretend to love somebody that they're not interested in, right? They are obviously there for other reasons. It could be kids, it could be religious factor, family factor, or just old paradigms that they need to get out of, right? So all those kind of things are there as barriers, and they're learning their lessons, and that's something that they have to figure out, right? The only thing you can do is change you anyways. You can't change the situation, you can't change them, you can only change you. Like in my case, I can't change how he feels and how afraid he is in to get into relationships. That's something that he has to figure out on his own. And I know that I don't personally want to get into any relationship at the moment, because I don't have the kind of time. I don't want to give that energy to anybody, because I'm too busy focused on my situation, my life, and trying to get that in order. And I don't want to learn more soul lessons. That's my thing as well, because I know that there's going to be cycles getting repeated, so I don't feel like doing that. So I think that we as a pair, we are mirroring each other there, because I think that we he's afraid to be in a relationship, and I think I am too. With him, I have no idea. That's subconscious, but consciously with other people for sure. Because yeah, at some point when you are working on yourself, and you realize that, okay, I am, I deserve more, right? And yeah, you keep your options open, for sure. You don't want to close doors, but when you've worked hard on yourself and you've actually raised your vibration, you know, you don't want to just settle for anything. So in my case, that's what I feel, is that I don't want to settle for just anything, right? You know, it has to be, you know, the person should give me the whole entire universe or nothing, you know, at this point, whether it's going to be my twin or somebody better, that's something that, you know, I'll allow the universe to figure out for me. So, but, you know, I do feel that, you know, people, when you are concentrating on yourself, and you know, a lot of that stuff lines up anyways, right? So you want to just let them figure out all that stuff, right? Like, you know, you step back. That's the best way I can say. Step back and let them, you know, let them figure out what they need to do, and you do you, right? You know, there's nothing wrong with you concentrating on you. You will only win. You know, if you are focused only on yourself, you will never ever lose, right? You know, you will just continue raising your vibration. You'll you continue to you know, get better and bigger and larger than life, you know. And you know, when you concentrate on that aspect of yourself, what ends up happening is that, you know, you become this magnet. You'll notice that actually, that once you start raising your vibration, you start, when you are out there, right? You know, especially if you're walking in public, you know, let's just say you've gone to a grocery store, or, you know, you've gone to a mall or something, you know, I know it's COVID, but still, you know, like, you know what I mean, you know, in a park, or, you know, wherever there's people, you'll notice that as you're walking, you know, you will, all eyes will, bam, just look at you, you know, because you've, and it's not because you are drop dead gorgeous, or, you know, you have those looks, you know, you may very well, I'm not saying that that's not the case, you know, but I'm just saying that because your vibration is so high that, you know, you will actually just, you know, illuminate that, right? You know, and that glow, and you know, you just, yeah, you'll just be magnet to them, right? So that's what I mean, you know. And so imagine if you are raising yourself to that effect, and you know, it's like it's nice high to get into that actually mode. And you'll notice that people will be you know, going out of their way to you know, to do things for you, you know. And I when I had strangers started doing things for me with no rhyme or reason, I'm not used to that, because I'm a very independent person, you know. So for me to get that kind of you know, attention, you know, that was something that you know, I couldn't believe it. So yeah, it's a nice, it's nice gesture is what I'm saying, right? So so yeah, so feel that energy. I just want to see what have I not covered here, because like I said, yeah, I've kind of covered it all, and this was my shortest pep talk and empowerment. Like I said, I don't have much to say on this topic because I don't have much soul lessons that I had to learn, and whatever I did learn, I've actually shared it here. And I, you know, if there's any questions that you want to, you know, like ask, you can ask in the comments. But yeah, I mean, I've kind of already done a recap of it, right? You know, I've talked about the ones that are single, you know, and I've talked about the ones that are already, you know, in a relationship like you are, the watcher in the you know, in a karmic relationship, you know. Like, again, you know, these are life choices that you need to make, and you cannot ever imagine abundance to come through if you are not abundantly single in any way, right? You know, it's all energy. You know, energetic cords, remember that. Remember, everything is energy. So, you know, and you know, energetic connections are there as well. So you need to clear you, right? I know that in my case, the universe is always throwing these kind of curveballs to me, though I cleared me couple of years ago. By the time I had met my twin flame, you know, everything was cleared up, but it's still coming up, where the universe is still sending me reminders, you know, look after this loose end, look after that loose end. It's all just my name, because I actually went back to my maiden name, my dad's name, you know, my family lineage, you know, so I went back to that, right? So So yeah, I had to, you know, change it everywhere, and I was having a hard time, you know, remembering, actually, to be honest with you, where I didn't, because you don't, things, places where you've actually not changed your name is hilarious, how that shows up, and you have to fix that or fix this. So it's been many loose ends that I have to deal with, and it's not fun, because you know you're trying to, you know, take care of all those matters, and you know, universe, mind you, the universe is in my side, so it's helping me deal with that, right? So, and I'm thankful for that, and this is why gratefulness comes, you know, handy. And those that don't practice gratitude, you know, you have no idea what you're missing out on, because yeah, once you practice that, you know, you actually see that there's more and more things that will come your way where you will actually be grateful for, right? So it actually opens up like a Pandora's box in a way, you know. It once you're practicing gratitude, you'll have more and more things to be grateful for. So that's where you actually shift your paradigm and your consciousness, because you are going from drab to fab, because you know, here you are, you know, even on a bad situation, you'll find something that you'll be grateful for, and that actually lifts your vibration up. So those that actually follow that on the law of attraction aspect, you know, they can tell you that they see this, you know, time after time, repeatedly, how the universe, you know, abundantly gives them things to be grateful for. So you know, it's start journaling, you know, write 3 things down that you are grateful for before you go to bed, you know. And it's a habit that takes about 3 weeks to form, because that's about what the human psyche, you know, works off. So and yeah, once your habit is there, you know, keep it by your bedside and do the journaling. You know, you have no idea how powerful that is. So yeah, I'm forever grateful for my amazing twin flame and whatever he's taught me so far. And you know, and the journey, its lessons, and just my self-discovery for who I actually was. I'm not the same person that I was, or I am now. You know, I wasn't like that even 5 years ago or even 3 years ago. So I've definitely found the changes on a positive side, right? So, you know, and I hope that you do as well. So wish you all the luck with your karmic situations. And like I said, everybody has dealt with karmics. You just have to figure out where you sit in this whole scenario. I don't think that anybody's been spared, right? So, you know, because they are very important in your, you know, life lessons and scenario. And you shouldn't be bitter towards the karmic partners at all, whether it's your karmic partners, ex-partners, or even the you know, the ones that your twin is dealing with, because they are actually doing a fantastic job. And you know, there is no such thing as you know, them being, some people think that they are bad apples, or they think that you know, they were toxic and this and that. You know, on a soul level, there's no ego, there's no nothing. So all of the stuff that you feel in normal 3D paradigm, you know, the lower 3D paradigm, you know, feelings, the fear, the jealousy, the toxic feelings that you feel towards them, the resentment, you know, the anger, you know, the hate, right? All of this, you know, this is all your lower 3D paradigm, you know, emotions that you're feeling. And blaming, another thing is blame. You know, you cannot sit there and blame. Easier said than done, but that's something that you cannot also do, is sit and blame you know, your ex-partners and your you know, twin flame, or their you know, karmics, for giving you certain soul lessons and stuff like that. Not once have I sat there, you know, I mean, we've been separated now for 26 months, you know, not once have I ever felt resentment towards his ex-girlfriend that you know, scared the bejesus out of him about any other future relationships. You know, I think you know, I mean, you know, it's what happened to him. You know, you know, I hope that he's learned his lessons, whatever they were. You know, I have no idea because we didn't really get into it. You know, that's his dragons and demons to fight. But, you know, I never felt that way, you know, towards, you know, the 3D paradigm, you know, way towards his karmic that he had to learn lessons to, you know. You know, I felt, again, you know, I don't know too much about it, but, you know, it could have been his catalyst twin too, because, you know, that doesn't mean that, you know, you only deal with the catalyst twin for the 30% of the collectives that have dealt with it, right? And it could have been his catalyst twin too, which is why, you know, when he met me, a lot of that stuff came back to him, because, you know, your catalyst twin is almost your twin flame, but not quite, right? So so if he dealt with the catalyst twin, yeah, I can imagine, you know. And then I have my suspicions, but again, you know, I have no idea, right? Until I talk to him, it's hard to say. But, you know, you know, you can't sit there and be resentful towards them, because that's you know, that's not the whole purpose of this journey, right? The purpose of this journey is to be the higher version of yourself, and, you know, you want to get away from any of the lower 3D paradigm emotions that, you know, there's no place for that in a twin flame journey. So yeah, try not to think of the karmics in any way, you know, that way, because if they are being mean to you, they are being mean to the twin, you know. Soul lessons, that's all it is. Get the ego out of the way, out of the equation, and yeah, it's all soul growth and soul lessons. There is no such thing as anything bad when it comes to the soul. So, and that's the version that you are trying to become, because remember in the beginning of the video I said that on a soul level you don't feel those kind of emotions. All is bliss. So, and that's, you're going back into your original soul form in human body. So that's the entire lesson of the twin flame collectives living this journey, right? So yeah, that's what it's trying to get you to do. So if you're feeling those kind of emotions, remember the next time you're feeling the anger, resentment, hate, and all those kind of lovely things, you know, you think about, you know, how you need to heal from those, because there is no such thing as mean karmics at all. There is no such thing. It's your situation that you need to heal from. You know, if you think they are mean, then there's something lacking in your situation, in you, not your twin flame, not the karmic, something lacking in you that you need to figure out on, because yeah, you can't sit there and you know, blame them for anything. It's all you. You know, you gotta do you, right? You know, and, you know, a lot of lessons come and go. So, you know, what you do with that is up to you. So I hope you got some lessons out of this. Do let me know in the comments. I hope that I don't get bashed. You know, try to keep it neutral, and if there's going to be ugly comments, of course I'm going to delete that. But, you know, because this is hitting a nerve, I hope that I didn't do that. I was trying my best to keep it very, very light, and you know, it's easier said than done. I do understand, you know, your feelings and emotions, but I don't need to get the wrath of that. So, you know, I'm just the messenger that needed to convey some of these things to you. This was Twin Flame Union, bringing you guys twin flames and karmics.